Hey guys, back at it on the CL350 from 1972. We are super close to engine removal. One obstacle in the way, and that is removing the rear brake pedal. All right, we got to get this out of there because the engine's going to be coming out from this side. Really simple process. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to actually pull connections on the rear brake right back in here, and we're going to pull a connection on the actual foot pedal here. It should all kind of come right apart here in just a minute. Let's dive right in. All right, first things first, we've got to get this main connector disconnected from the rear hub, and to do that, you'll need a 14mm wrench. There's a little long-winded nut back here. This is kind of an adjuster spring for, I think it does the tension on the actual pedal. I'm going to pull this right off of here. Now, these are parts that you definitely do not want to lose, okay? I haven't seen a whole lot of, I've seen these arms all over the place, but I haven't seen these little, you'll see here in just a second once I pop this off. I haven't seen this nut. It's a special one that's on the back here. It's just going to pull all the way off. You can actually give this a little bit of a push, and you can pull this off. Can't really see what I'm doing here. Sorry about that. But we're just going to basically push this arm so the tension comes off of this nut. And we're going to pull it off here. Eventually, it gets a little crusty towards the end because it gets, just imagine all the road dirt, grime that this thing is seeing on the very end of the bike. So we're just going to take it. It's almost there. We got it right here. And here it is. Take a little closer look at it. It's got a special groove in it. All right. Definitely not a part you're going to be able to go buy at the hardware store, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're just going to pull this straight back. Do not lose this spring, okay? There's a spring there. And then inside of here, this little spacer, okay? You don't want to lose this either, all right? It's a real precision piece. So what I recommend you do is actually just go ahead and just put these right back on for now, so you don't end up losing the stuff. We'll just lightly put that back on, and now we're loose from here. So let's actually tackle another small little piece here. Let me drop elevation here so you can see this part. This isn't necessary technically to get the engine out, but what we do need to do eventually is to pull out this little holder. This actually holds that brake in place. There's one pin. I'm just going to pull the pin on that, real simple. Really small piece, don't lose it, okay? And then really simply, a 12mm wrench will drop right on here and you pull this off. Wow, this is super nice and loose. I can just finger take this off. It's great. Now, take note, we've got a washer and a rubber bushing, so we don't want to lose that either. Now this should sling right out. Rear brake is independent. I'm actually just going to put these right back where they were. So there you go. Really, the only thing holding this wheel on right now is that rear axle. The brakes are totally disengaged, and you can see, without this this stabilizer in place, you got no brakes. It won't work. So let's move up on the front end of the bike and try to show you how we disconnect the actual pedal. Now we're looking at the brake pedal here. One thing, it's going to hang you up if you don't get it off. There's a little spring here. So we're going to want to get this spring off of here. Oops, come on. Work it from the other side. There we go. That spring will come right off. And now, this thing is pretty independent. You can see I can kind of manipulate it here, but it's totally falling, and it's good. So all we really need to do is jump right in here and pull out. Oops, that's tightening. Let's take this straight out. One big bolt. I actually didn't have the right socket, but I am finding that a 3/4 inch socket, it's actually a spark plug socket, works just fine on this part. So we're going to pull this out. This is a big bolt. Come on. There we go. Should be really close now getting this out of here. Let's see. Come on. There we go. See, it all fell out. Now on this bolt, we've got one big bolt and one big washer. So again, we don't want to lose that. I'm going to put that right with that little cotter key that I have there. This whole unit should actuate straight off. See, it's totally free now. So the only thing really holding us up now is a really tricky connection on the backside. Let me rotate the camera here a little bit so I can show you what's going on. All right, once you get that out, my little pin actually just broke off. So this will pull right out. It's just a little pin, and you can see there's a little hole in it where that used to be. But now this rod is going to be completely free, and that pulls out. So taking a look back here, we've got this, and now we just need to kind of articulate it enough to get it to drop through. I remember this being, there we go. We got it right out. And there is our brake pedal. Our rear brake pedal is out, and I'll show you why we had to take that out here. So that rear brake pedal was running right under here, and it was impeding our progress at getting at a few of these engine bolts. So it's absolutely necessary to get that out. Now, the other thing that we're going to need to get out are these foot pegs. These foot pegs are going to need to come out, and that can be problematic because that's going to take away our side stand. So from here on out, we are on center stand only. All right, next step, getting the center stand, or the front foot pegs and the side stand out. It's actually just a 12 millimeter socket. Really, really easy. There's two on this side. I'm actually going to leave one of these in place for just a little while as we go to the other side and we loosen things up. So I'm just going to take this one out. I'm not going to take it out all the way just yet because I don't want a ton of tension. So again, no locking nuts on these, just a washer. Or actually, no, that is a locking nut. There's a locking nut on here, so corroded you can barely even tell. So the other ones are actually on the bottom. So let's switch sides and take a look at that. All right, we're looking straight up at the bottom of the bike right now, and we need to take out these two bolts, and then we are good to go. Let me see if I can creatively shoot this. Hey, there we go. Looking straight up. You can follow along as I dive into these, and you'll see why I left the one bolt in there, because otherwise it would really start to sag over here, and it'll put a lot of tension on these different connections. So we don't want that. We're just going to take these out. Real simple. I don't even need this extension on here, but really simple, man. Like every piece of these bikes is really just, 2, 3, 4 bolts here and there. It's really not that complicated. So this one's going to be ready to come out. Well, almost. I'm going to get rid of this extension. Don't really need it. Overkill for the job. It's not really that big of a reach. Again, there's a nut. There's a nut and a locking washer. And then we're going to come over to this side, and we'll take this one off too. Now it's starting to sag, and we are without center stand at this point. So got to be really careful about forward movement on this motorcycle from here on out. Otherwise, it's going to get real weird. There we go. The whole unit just dropped, and I can go back on the other side and get that last bolt out, and we'll pull the whole unit out. All right, holding this up, I'm going to pull this little bolt out. That whole unit drops out. So we got 4 bolts, 4 locking nuts, and there you go. That is your whole assembly for the front foot pegs and the kickstand, side kickstand. So we're really, really clear. I'll give you a look here to see how opened up everything is now. And there you go. We're looking at the right side of the bike, and you can see we have no obstructions anymore in getting this motor out. The only thing really holding it in are the motor mounts. Similarly, on this side, everything is now disconnected. It is wide open and ready to rock and roll. So let's take a look at the parts that we've harvested on this run. All right, there it is. There's the foot pegs and the kickstand. We've got the rear brake pull, the nuts and bolts, and there is that rear brake pedal, spring, and main bolt. That's what was in the way of getting that motor out. All right, guys, we're ready to get this engine out. This has been a heck of a process. It's been a lot of fun, but it's about to come out. All we got to do is get the main mounting bolts out, and wrestle this thing out, dump this thing out. I've read a bunch of different ways to get a motor out. I'm not sure which way I'm going to tackle it, but next video we're going to get into it. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you learned something with this rear brake assembly. There's a lot going on back there, so just being able to see it before you tackle it on your own. Hopefully you found that really, really helpful. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. If you think I mucked something up or you want to show me something, say, hey, dummy, you should have done it this way. Let me know in the comments. I would love to start some dialogue with all of you. Also sharing some content on Twitter and Instagram about this journey and my other journeys with other motorcycles and things like that. So give me a follow at BV Metson on both those networks. Next time, it's big. We've been working towards this the whole way since the first video. What was I saying? We're going to get the motor out. Motor's coming out next time, folks. Thanks for watching.